if you want to get rich quick, then this video is not for you. I mean, there's so many out there that don't work. Why should I make another one that doesn't work? And that's, I think that's unfair. It's misleading. And instead, I'll offer you something better. I'll offer you something that actually works. This is a spreadsheet that you can use to become aware of your financial situation and plan ahead for the next 3, 6, 12 months. We spent so much time in school studying chemistry and biology and physics and mathematics and, foreign language and literature. And that is all good. That is all valuable. But at the end of the day, once we're out of that journey, we have no idea how to plan ahead. And I think a tool of this kind is needed and everybody should have access to it. So you can approach this as an individual. You can make a plan for yourself, or you can approach it as a household. If you have a partner and children, then this is also something that I think would serve you well. The way that it is structured is very simple. First, we're going to take a look at all the potential streams of cash inflows that one might have, whether as an individual or as a household. Then we're going to take a look at the cash outflows, and then we're going to take a look at something different, which is kind of like a balance sheet, but it's simplified in a sense that you don't need any accounting knowledge. All you need to do is just follow the video and apply it, and eventually you'll figure out that, oh, now I know where my money goes. I know what I can expect this year. And given that I'm recording this right after New Year, I think it's a great timing that you can use it for the next 12 months. But obviously, if you're watching this at any point in time, you can still make use of it. And all you need to do is change the first month so that it's not January 2025, but maybe it's March 2026. And then, change all the rest, and that's it. Now, let's get started with the various sources of cash. The first one, obviously, is salary. And I'll be filling random numbers so that you can see how it works. So let's assume that you get 2,000 a month, or at least that's one of the salaries in the household. And then maybe in April, you have a 5,000 bonus on top of the 2,000. Well, you can do that as well, right? 2,000 plus 5,000. And then maybe as of May, your salary increases. So it's no longer 2,000, it's you had a 5% increase. Well, you have that in the spreadsheet. So what you have here is an expectation for the next 5 months, and you can extrapolate that until the end of the year, and you'll see that you expect to make almost 30,000 that year from that particular salary. Now, maybe you have a certain apartment or house that you're renting. You can add that here. Maybe you have investments, dividends, you have allowance or scholarship, you have a side hustle, some government benefits, pension or retirement income, gifts, or you're expecting to get some tax income. These are kind of the most common cash inflows that one could expect. But if you want to simplify it, if you are maybe following this video and you want to make it for you as an individual, then just keep the lines that are relevant for you. You can either remove the rest of the lines by right-clicking delete, or you can right-click and hide. So either delete or hide, it's up to you. And there are some placeholders. If you have other streams that I have not outlined here, maybe you have multiple locations that you're renting, I don't know, it's up to you. But what I was surprised is I've worked with a few individuals who were earning hundreds of thousands, and it's interesting how at the end of the month, they have no idea where their money went to. And normally you'd expect this with people who have low income, because basically once they cover the crucial living expenses, then there's not much left, or not at all. But it's always surprising to see that with individuals who earn a lot of money. And this is also why it doesn't come as a surprise that people who sport athletes who earn millions eventually end up bankrupt. And if they have a tool like this one, then maybe they won't. Maybe they'll get a better idea of their financials. And by the way, this spreadsheet you can find you can find the link to it in the description of the video. So everything that we have here is related to understand what can you expect, how much money is coming your way in the next 12 months, and you can see that per month. So maybe, I don't know, let's assume that you have 100 a month in dividends. That's 1,200 for a year. Maybe you have, I don't know, a gift might be, you have a birthday and you expect that you get a lot of presents. I don't know. Maybe you're renting something for 800 a month, and then we're going to do that for the full month. But don't forget, if you're expecting any price increase, a salary increase, rent increase, make sure to apply it both in the cash inflows, and then, as we are going to see below here, in the cash outflows. So the way that the cash outflow is divided is, even though it looks like one giant portion, the first part here relates to expenses that you can't avoid. You can't avoid housing. What is housing? Well, either your rent or mortgage, including utilities, and don't forget maintenance or repair or replacement of household items. You'll be surprised if you sum up everything that you spent a year on repair, maintenance, or replacement. I mean, maybe the coffee machine will stop working. Maybe you have to repaint the room. There are always these small expenses that eventually add up. So make sure to have some sort of a buffer there for your housing expenses. So rent, utilities, but also maintenance, repair. Then you have groceries, food, drinks, cleaning supplies, other essentials for daily living. Again, you can't avoid them. These are quite fixed expenses. Then transportation. You might have a car payment, anyway, fuel, or it could be public transport, insurance, repairs. Again, there's a lot that could be going on here. Or maybe all you have is a bike. And in that case, you can ignore this whole line, except maybe there will be some repairs. You might get a flat tire. And of course, those are tiny repairs. So if you're looking sometimes at something that's really tiny, it's not worth spending the time. You could just have a bucket here as other and have a placeholder of like 50 a month for stuff that you just don't expect. You can also approach it that way. But other than that, maybe you're spending 1,000 on housing, then just do that. Make sure that and enter it with a negative sign. So then if you have, I don't know, maybe you have to pay or care or support someone else, do that. Maybe it's maybe you have to, it's an allowance for your child. Maybe it is you support your elderly ones, whatever that may be. Then we're looking at the debt repayments or credit card or any loan other than the house car related, because those are included above. Personal care, clothes, haircut, beauty products, and other personal care items. Taxes, also don't forget the ones related to your house and car. And then, well, basically up until here, you can't really cut back on these expenses. And if you want, you can make them a different color. You can, anyone that maybe grabs your attention, but this is the part that you can't negotiate. You can't avoid these expenses. You have to pay them, right? So once you fill everything up until here, what you're going to be left with is the following. You have a certain beginning balance. Let's say that this is your balance of 2,000 or 10,000 at the end of last year, so beginning of this year. This month, of January, you had a net cash movements of 1,900. So you have a cash inflow of 2.9 minus the 1,000, then it's 1.9. So at the end of the month, you should expect to have 11.9 thousand. And then as the year goes by, you'll see that obviously you should have a higher balance if what you earn covers your fixed expenses, the non-negotiable expenses. And then basically what you have left, you can allocate to these activities below that. Well, they're optionals, right? You can choose to dine out. That could also include movies and bowling. You can choose to go on vacation. You can choose to have hobbies. You can choose to have subscriptions. But make sure that you don't optimize only for your financials. Life should be lived, and I think you should also allocate to stuff that make you happy. If you want to go out and see a movie once a month and it gives you energy and it connects you with others, do it, right? Now, if you want to do it every day, that's a bit too much. Obviously, then you're sacrificing your financial future. So try to find the balance between the happiness that you have today, that you're experiencing today and in the next period, and in the happiness that's awaiting for you sometime in the future. So make sure to fill in the fixed expenses to become aware of what you should expect as cash remaining for fun stuff, but also cash remaining for investing. And I think that's something that everybody should allocate a small portion at least of the budget to. That's the future, unless of course you're retired. In that case, you probably just want to focus on just enjoying life. But other than that, this is, I think, a simple template that it's not that difficult to follow, and if you play around it, well, you'll get the hang of it quite quickly. And then once January is done, and by the way, when I say done, I mean the month is done. You can take a look at this portion and fill this in with a bit more accurate data, because now these are all estimates. This is what you expect to happen based on your information. But maybe you got a bonus for performing better. Maybe you didn't, the tenant didn't pay for whatever reason. Your tenant decided to move out, and then as of maybe in March and April you won't have anyone staying in, and then as of May you expect to have a new tenant. So there's so many things that could change. So you can keep this as more of a live document, and then you can also swap your budgeted numbers for the actual as you go on, but don't spend time to get it to the last dollar, to the last euro. If you're spending more than an hour on this a month, it's already too much. So it should be a high level overview, and it should give you an idea of all the cash coming your way and all the cash that you're spending. And ultimately you'll have a really good idea. And I think that most people would be surprised after a few months of how much they spent on stuff they weren't aware of. And that's normal, and that's expected. And if you get to that point, then it means you're one step further, because I think before you look at your future, you have to be aware of where you are today. So being financially aware is the first step. So up until here, it's very straightforward, right? Everything is cash based. It's based on what you expect to happen. When do you expect to receive the cash, and when do you expect to pay the cash for whatever reason that may be? Now, there's a break here if you see of a couple of lines, and then we have something different. That is the assets and liabilities. Assets is everything, basically everything that you own and has value. So the cash, you don't have to do anything here. That is being linked to what you have above here. This is what you expect to happen. So that's your expectation for the next 12 months. So you don't have to do anything here. Then you might own a car, and maybe its value is 300,000. And then maybe I'll do the formatting so it's the same. But the value of your house is likely going to remain the same over time. Then you might have a car. Maybe you don't have a car, maybe you have a bike. So you can fill that part in, your investments, retirement account, real estate if you own a business that you might own. And again, I have left a few placeholders. Most would have 1, 2, maybe 3 lines. That's the average human being. So you might have, of course, cash, house, and a car. Those are the key. And then investments. As crazy as it sounds, most people don't have investments, and I hope that you're not one of them. And if you are that, you start investing in the future. And then, of course, the retirement accounts, that's something that's just, for most people, just compounding over time because they have a job. And then you have the liabilities. These are basically what you don't want to have. In theory, at least, that's not good, but that doesn't have to be the case. If you have a mortgage, that doesn't mean it is bad. It means that you're not paying rent, you're paying mortgage, but otherwise you can't really avoid it. If you are to avoid the mortgage, you're going to have to pay rent. So maybe you have, and then in this case, enter with a negative sign. Maybe you have a mortgage of 250,000, and then maybe you expect that to decrease by 1,000 a month. So maybe that's what you expect. So by the end of the year, it's 239. Maybe you have a car loan, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a credit card, that student loan, and make sure that you are aware of this part so that you can make a plan how to reduce it if that is your goal. But the idea is, once you're aware of all your assets and all your liabilities, that's how we calculate the net worth. This is how much you as an individual are worth, or as a household. And if you fill this spreadsheet, and again, I'm recording this, we spent like 14 minutes on this file so far. You can see how the net worth is moving forward over the next 12 months. And this could at least give you some excitement about the future, if at least you're getting excited by something like this. But what you'll notice is that this is not a get rich quick scheme. You don't get rich quick. You can either try to get rich slowly, or you can get poor very quickly. So make sure to take some time the first time that you fill this in. This is basically the key part that you're going to fill in. The second part, you don't even have to fill in as much, because you can't really influence much of this. If you influence the upper part, that's it. Like this part, you can't influence the value of your house, your car, the investments that you make. Well, we have them up here as cash outflow. So everything that you have in here, make sure that you focus on that part. And then this part down here, it's just fun exercise that you can do at the end of the month to see if you're on track, if your financial future looks better than you expected? Are you on track? And again, there will be a lot of surprises. Maybe you have a lot of other rows that you'd like to add to cover for all kinds of scenarios. You'll be surprised again how much money will be allocated to activities that you never expected, and that's normal, but you learn from it. And again, the goal of this exercise is to become financially aware. That's the first step, in my opinion, to improving your financial situation. It's not by watching get quick rich videos, but by being aware of your financial situation. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to this spreadsheet. I hope that you enjoyed. Please make sure to make a copy out of it, so you won't be able to edit it right away. You have to make a copy, and then you have your own version that you and you alone have access to it. And I hope that you enjoyed. One maybe last thing is, there's inflation, and once in a while there will be an increase, price increase. You can expect that everywhere. So maybe make sure that, if you have filled this in for a month, maybe in 6 months the price will go up by 3-4%. So this housing, if you're renting a place, maybe as of June, as of July, maybe you have a contract where your landlord increases the rent once every 6 months, once a year. Maybe you have an idea about your next rental payment. But the idea is, make sure to have it as accurate as possible without spending too much time, and it would be good enough to guide you for the next 3, 6, 12 months. And there's vacation. I'm sure that many of you have already planned the vacation, or at least planned timing of it, or you have an idea of how much you're willing to spend on it. You can plug that in, and it would reflect your financial forecast for the next 12 months. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I wanted to make it as short as possible and informative. I hope that you make use of this template. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.